I'm Joel and welcome to WTF Performance. Today we are going to work on my new pickup. We did a little work to it already because it broke down after about a week of me owning it. We figured out it was a fuel pump issue, a bad ground, so I went ahead and put a new fuel pump on it and fixed the ground. Kind of did some maintenance, PCV valve, air filter, that kind of thing. And now I got another pile of parts for it. So it's missing a muffler, so it's really noisy and annoying right now. So I got a cherry bomb, so it's gonna be still noisy and annoying, but at least the sound will go out. Oil change with the flush. It needs a trailer hitch. That's what the big box is, because this thing is ultimately going to be a tow vehicle, so I can go get more beaters. My Corvette is stranded about 3 hours away, so I really am itching to get it here before we get some snow. Today is an insane 70 degrees in the middle of December. There's always one day, this is the day, so I have to get all of this done. Got some front brake pads, throw those on, and this is a brake cable for the left rear. I guess the cable's broken. I don't know if I'll get to this today, but it'd be nice because then I'd have an e-brake again. So, first we just gotta warm up that engine, I think, and put that motor flush in it, run it a little bit, and then drain the oil, get the oil change knocked out. Then we'll probably slap the trailer hitch in, you know, kind of prioritize. I also got a oil pressure sensor because it's doing some funky stuff. It's like when you're driving, the oil kind of flickers, and I can't tell if it's because like the oil sucks or if the sender's going out. So I figured I'll just do both. I've never done an oil change, so we'll do that. Put a new oil pressure sender in it, and tackle the front brakes. They're kind of making a noise. I honestly don't think they're bad, so I'll probably just check them. If they're fine, they're fine. But that's what we're doing. Let's get to it. That oil pressure switch is all the way on the back side of the engine, right next to the distributor. And it's not that bad, but you do have to be sitting in the engine bay. But get that little oil pressure switch adapter, comes right out. Alright, we got the new oil pressure sensor in. We got all the oil drained out, new filter. Now we're going to top it off. I think this thing takes 5 quarts, and one of those quarts is going to be the sauce. Always need some oil stabilizer when you have over 200,000 miles. Glug, 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 glug. Oil pressure switch seems to be working. Just top off the oil if it needs any, and then we can move on to the next thing. Alright, now we're going to throw that hitch on. It's going to take like 5 minutes. It's super easy. It's 6 bolts. The frame rails are open. You just drop the little carriage bolts through the little adapter thingies to keep them from spinning, and bolt it on. So now it's 70 degrees out and amazing. It's just like 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's insane. So let's just get this done real quick. All that's left is to torque them down to 75 foot-pounds each. Alright, I actually got lucky and found a trailer connector under here, so I don't know if it ever had a hitch on it, but someone might have used the step bumper with the ball. So as long as this thing works, it's just a little bit short, but it should be perfect. So, freebie. This thing's got a ball now. Yeah, about time this thing had a tow hitch. Now I can actually do some shit. Alright, finally got a tow ball on the truck, which means I can pull a dolly, which means I can go get my car from Plano, 3 hours away, and get it back in the garage so I can keep working on it. But this thing is so noisy, I want to throw a muffler on it real quick. So I bought that little cherry bomb. It should be 3 little zap welds, and as long as that pipe under there isn't too rusty, but I'm sure I can get it to work. So we're gonna just cut it to fit, grind it, clean it up, and then zap it on real quick. I got the little flux core welder out here. It's enough to get the job done, and nothing fancy. Let's go. I got a cherry bomb, I got a pipe. These fit together like so. And this should fill the gap of where the old muffler was cut off. All I gotta do is clean up those connections and snap it all together. Alright, the exhaust is welded on. We got some awesome, nice boogery welds on the old rusty pipes. But before we test drive this thing and see how it sounds, I have one more thing that I want to do. So one thing that was really annoying whenever I drove this truck is the right mirror is smashed. And you can tell I hit something with it or something, but I got a replacement. Looks like it's as simple as 3 screws. I have a fresh mirror. And let's knock that out. I get to use my favorite tool, my super mega 10 mil. Much better. Alright, I think everything we're going to get done today is done. I looked at the front brakes and the rotors are actually shot, so I'm going to have to just hold off on that. And I kind of figured I'll clean the garage up and I'll probably get the shoes and the hardware and then some new front rotors and bearings, and I'll just do everything all at once because that rotor in the front's pretty pitted anyway. But we can definitely see how that exhaust sounds now. So let's fire it up. In the truck now with that muffler on is a huge difference. It's still like a performance muffler and it has some sound, but they do a lot more than you think they would, because without a muffler this thing was really loud. And we're about to find out if it still is. But no matter what, it got the sound out of the cab and now is sending it out the tailpipe, and that alone makes a big difference. But let's take it for a little drive and see how it sounds. It's really quiet. That's with the window open too.
That's crazy.
It's a huge difference. I really like it. A lot of people don't like glass packs, but I don't mind them. They're a little like raspy and stuff, but it's all good. Sounds good. Go to find a spot to do some drive-bys. The good kind of drive-bys, not the bad kind of drive-bys. It's nice and quiet, but it's still got a little sound. There's nothing worse than driving a freaking silent car, so I knew I couldn't put a stock muffler back on it, even though they're probably 20 bucks. But that's it for this episode. The next episode, hopefully, we're going to be going to rescue my Corvette on a little 3-hour road trip. I think I'm going to grab a U-Haul trailer and just make it easy on myself. And now that I know this thing's pretty reliable, the only really sketchy thing about it is the tires. But we're not going to talk about those tires. They're going to be fine.